All right, let's get right into it. We're about to solve a mystery that, let's be honest, haunts pretty much all of us every single month. Where in the world does all our money actually go?
You know the feeling, right? One minute you get that payday notification, your account looks healthy, you feel great, and then poof! Before you know it, you're counting down the days, wondering how it all just evaporated. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, stick around because you are not alone.
So, let's look at how the magic trick begins. You see a jacket you love. Price tag? $148. And your brain kind of puts the brakes on. Whoa, that's a chunk of change. But then you see the other option, 4 easy payments of just $37. And suddenly your whole perspective shifts. That $37, oh, it just waltzes right past your brain's security guard. Click, it's yours. And look, this is maybe the most important thing I'm going to say. If you've fallen for this, it doesn't mean you're bad with money. Not at all. It just means you're human, and you've walked right into a carefully designed psychological maze that was built for you to get lost in.
So, if we want to reclaim our wallets, we've got to understand the battlefield. And guess what? That battlefield? It's inside our own heads. So let's start by unmasking the invisible psychological triggers that get us to pull out our wallets.
First up, we have this thing called payment depreciation. Think about it. When you hand over a crisp $100 bill, you feel that, right? It stings a little. Swiping a credit card, it hurts a little less. But tapping your phone, or even better, clicking Buy Now, Pay Later, the pain is practically gone. That space between the thrill of getting something new and the sting of actually paying for it, that is the sweet spot companies are aiming for. And then there's this weird paradox. Let's call it payday psychology. You know, when we're down to our last $20, we're absolute financial geniuses. We can stretch that money like you wouldn't believe. But the second that salary hits our account, our brain gets flooded with this feeling of, I'm rich. And suddenly every little purchase feels tiny. And all those brilliant, careful plans we made, poof, gone. This actually leads me to this wild story about an 18th century philosopher named Denis Diderot. He was pretty poor most of his life, but then he got a bunch of money and bought himself this beautiful, fancy scarlet robe. But that new robe was so nice, it suddenly made everything else he owned look old and shabby. He felt this uncontrollable urge to upgrade everything else just to match the robe. And you've seen this happen, right? This is the Diderot effect in real life. You buy a new couch, and now your old rug just looks wrong. So you buy a new rug. But oh wait, now the coffee table clashes with the new rug. It's a consumption spiral, where one little purchase ends up pulling you into a dozen more you never planned on. Okay, so we've looked inside our own brains, but that's only half the battle. Now we need to look at the powerful systems out there in the world that are built specifically to take advantage of those quirks. Welcome to the architecture of overspending. We are living in what you could call the frictionless trap. From one-click checkouts to saved credit card info on your phone, every single one of these innovations is designed to do one thing: remove friction. You see, companies know that every extra second it takes you to check out is a chance for you to ask, do I really need this? By making paying invisible, they make spending mindless. And believe me, it gets even sneakier. Online, we're constantly running into what designers call dark patterns. You know what I'm talking about. Those countdown timers that create a fake panic, or subscription services that are a breeze to sign up for, but you need a detective to figure out how to cancel. These are not accidents, my friends. They are deliberate choices meant to nudge you and wear you down until you just give in. All right, so we've got these psychological triggers inside us and these manipulative traps outside. So what's the real-world damage? How do these two forces team up to slowly and quietly bleed our bank accounts dry? Well, a huge part of it is something called lifestyle creep. It's so subtle. You get a raise, and without even thinking about it, your spending goes up to match. That fancy coffee you used to get as a special treat, yeah, that's just your Tuesday morning now. The takeout you used to order once a month, now it's a weekly thing. Your old luxuries slowly become your new normal, and that's exactly why you can earn more money but still feel just as broke. And if you actually mapped out your budget, it might look a little something like this. You've got your big, obvious stuff, rent, bills, groceries. You've got what you hopefully managed to save, but then there's this huge chunk, maybe a quarter of your income, that just seems to evaporate into thin air. These are the silent leaks. This is where the real damage is done. So what exactly are these silent wallet drainers? They're the daily coffee run. They're the gym membership you swear you're going to use next month. The streaming service you forgot you were even paying for. Or paying extra for same-day shipping just because you can't wait. Each one feels like no big deal, right?
It's just a few bucks, but add them all up, and you've got a massive hole in your financial boat. Okay, that all sounds pretty bleak, I know, but here is the good news, and it's really good news. Once you can see these forces for what they are, you can absolutely fight back. This isn't about punishing yourself, it's about empowering yourself. It's time to build your financial armor. First up, to fight that crazy payday psychology, try the 48-hour rule. It's simple. For the first 24 hours after you get paid, do nothing. Just let that I'm rich feeling calm down. Then, on day 2, you make your strategic moves. Pay all the bills, transfer your savings into a separate account, do all the responsible stuff first. Then, the money left over in your main account, that's your actual guilt-free spending money for the rest of the month. And here are a few more tools for your anti-overspending toolkit. Think of these as adding helpful friction back into your life. For any purchase that isn't a total necessity, give yourself a 24-hour waiting period. To stop that Diderot effect, try a buy one, give one rule. If a new shirt comes in, an old one goes out. And maybe the most powerful tip of all, reduce your exposure. Unsubscribe from all those tempting marketing emails. You know, it's funny, this brings us full circle, right back to Diderot himself. After he went on his big spending spree, he wrote this. He realized that while being poor obviously has struggles, having too much stuff creates its own kind of prison, a trap of always wanting more, of always needing to upgrade. So, I'm going to leave you with a question, a challenge really. You don't have to change your entire life tomorrow. Just think about this. What is one small, tiny point of friction you can add back into your spending this week to make yourself just a little more mindful? Maybe it's just deleting one food delivery app. That one little decision, that's how you start to take back control.